Well, hello and good morning, everyone. It's your grumpy middle-aged guy, Jay Hip. How is everyone today? I don't do a lot of these morning streams. I hope I'm not muted. I hope everyone can hear me. I haven't done a live stream by myself in a long time. I think the first show I did was with Roslyn, and the second one I did in the morning was just me by myself. I think that's the only time I've ever done a stream by myself. So we'll see how it goes. I see we got people coming in, though. I appreciate it. It's a Monday morning, so I don't, expect a million people over here. That's not how it goes in the mornings on a Monday. It's 7:43. But hi, Cindy. I'm glad that you're here. Philip, thank you for coming by. Lisa, thank you for being here. Forever Not Me, Michael Lee, good morning, everybody. Cindy Brown, thank you for being here. Can we be grumpy because it's not going to even hit 40 today? Where are you at, Cindy, that it's not going to hit 40 today? I'm here. I'm here in Omaha, Nebraska. In Omaha, Nebraska, it's a little chilly this morning, but it's been relatively warm for the most part for the last few weeks, or last few days. So things are starting to turn into springtime here. We got the grass is turning green. It's time to go outside and fertilize and do the mowing and all that stuff. So. But I do want to be doing some more live streams occasionally in the morning. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a members only stream. I'm going to share a little behind the scenes of the Volmit situation, but in preparation for tomorrow. Tomorrow, Volmit and Dick Lickman are going to go on the two leaves, and I know how this is going to go. All right, I can lay out a prediction. They're going to go out. They're going to spread their lies about me as my guess, and then I'll have to respond to those different lies. But it's just how it goes. They don't get it. It's funny that they think that this is some huge financed campaign, pro Hell's campaign. That's not what it is. But I know there's a good chance they're going to bring up the fact that the Hells were in my chat the other day. As I was telling Star, I say no idea the storm that's coming because they came in our stream. But Saturday was a good stream. I mean, all the characters were out to play. I believe this Saturday we're going to have like a griftathon where there's going to be multiple different channels going. I think Rosalind's going, Slug's going. Slug won't be with me. He won't be with me. Nope, no Slug. Ben Hook, thank you for being here. Also, thank you, Lisa Farr for being here. Frankie for being here. It's filling up a little bit. I appreciate that, especially just for a morning stream. I didn't hit the snooze button, so I was kind of waiting for Shizzy to maybe get a little closer to finishing. I never know how long he's going to go in the morning, and I hate to just, run into that. Hey, Stacy, thank you. Good morning, Stacy Schmidt, for being here. When I do these morning streams, it's a chance for me to maybe interact with chat a little bit more and kind of I can answer any questions if you throw it out there in the chat or anything like that. I can answer any questions like that. Deb Brooks here. Thank you. Phrasing. Yeah, phrasing. But it is a chance for me to be more engaging in the chat because when I did Saturday stream, I'm always not used to there being, I think at one point there's 350 people here, and I'm not used to it. I can't pay attention to everything that's going on. I will tell you this much though. I have to set it up a little bit, but I have my echo panels finally arrived for my streams to help with my volume here in this room I'm in, which this room is my office for work. And this is where I do, I work overnight. So I get off at 6:30 in the morning. So, I raced home to try and put stuff together. And I'm kind of glad Shizzy is still going, because I wasn't quite ready at 7:15 by the time I got home just to put some stuff together. But no, it's a good time to sit down and, I can talk more about me. I see, there's 30 people here, which I appreciate. I did get a few different stories that we're going to cover today, a couple streams that I wanted to cover. I mentioned it. Beefy Has Anxiety was one of my first channels I followed when I started on YouTube. Beefy started his channel in 2019, I believe, and he got roped into where he was covering the Darrell Brooks trial. And it got to the point where after that was over, for the next, I would say, 6 months, if he wasn't sharing a funny stream on Darrell Brooks, people weren't tuning in and watching him. And he kind of just got stuck in this situation where it's a situation I don't want to get stuck in, which is why I want to do something different occasionally. Because right now, I mean, we've only done Volmit and Dick Lickman and stuff like that for the last 6 weeks or something like that, 7 weeks. And I don't want to get pigeonholed where if I don't do those things, then nobody's going to watch or no one's going to tune in. So that's why I'm thankful for people coming in, watching, just to have a morning, back and forth and show some stuff. But yeah, if I just do one thing, and those guys are endless material, because on Tuesday, they're just going to be handing out more material, and they're still doing it even to this day. But there were a few things I thought was funny. I'll show a couple things here. All right. Where did I put that at? All right. As you can see here, maybe I'll make it bigger if I can. We did win the poll. The poll is closed. Are Jay Hipp and Rosalind Duke part of an AstroTurf campaign for Jeremy Janon Hales? And the answer is no. So we won the poll. So there's good news that came out of this. The other poll, we do have to wait a while on. It's not going to happen right away, but it'll be out in the year 2239, I believe. We'll be able to hop on and I'll be able to share those results with you live. Maybe alive. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But I promise you this. If I'm around, I'm going to share that with you live. But we did win the poll. And so that's one good thing that happened this week. It's nice to be a winner. But it's kind of embarrassing, too, because he has to go back to his own Substack and see that he didn't win his own poll. And I don't know what he expected out of this. Like, what results did he really expect? We knew what was going to happen. I mean, he ended up with 15 total votes for his big poll. Yeah, we won this one, and I can take pride in that. I can walk away and go, look at that. We are definitely not, because the audience has answered that question. So I appreciate that. Locally here in Omaha, there was a news story that happened a couple of years ago, and it actually made national news, sort of. I mean, it was, everybody did a story on this. But I don't think a lot of people saw it. I was going to show it today because I just thought it was really, really funny. Let me see. I'll pull it up here. And also just hold on. Stop screen. All right. But also, yeah, I mean, just sharing local news that I find funny, here in Omaha, like when the protests were going on and stuff like that, we don't get that stuff here. We still have protesters going around, but it's usually like 14 people, and it's never like a real thing. It's just 14 idiots walking around with a sign that they're not really doing anything. But we do have some good news here as well. And there's a couple other news stories, some bigger ones that happened that I'm going to share in the future too. That we had court cases on that were more national, that still weren't covered by any YouTubers or big channels that I remember. I did see that one of the other things I wanted to cover, and I'm not going to do this today because this is going to be a whole stream, is the Darrell Brooks is going to represent himself again in his appeal, but I don't even think he's going to get an appeal, but he's still going to represent himself. And I watched the video of him with his back and forth with Judge Darrell, and it was a good watch, just because I think he's just looking to get back into that limelight of representing himself and putting on the spectacle that he did, which was more of a humiliation spectacle. It wasn't like, it wasn't like it wasn't a good showing, but I understood, because I followed this case so explicitly, that I knew every single detail in this case, and I understood what he was doing. His goal was to cause a mistrial and figure out a way out of this mess that he brought himself into. And he knew any defender that he got was not going to fight for him the way he was going to fight for him, despite the nonsense and the craziness and everything like that. His strategy wasn't stupid, and well, it was stupid, but he had to fight for himself, because anyone else was going to go take a plea deal. We got nothing to do for you here. So he didn't have a choice. His choice was to make an ass of himself and then hope that maybe he would get a mistrial, maybe he would get an appeal, something. And we'll see where that goes. But the trial itself was amazing, despite how sad the whole situation was up in Waukesha. And that's when I got into YouTube, and that's when I started following, Law Talk with Mike. I followed him. I would watch 8 hours a day because he was covering the whole case. And from watching Law Talk with Mike, I was able to sprout out and find other people. And eventually, through the Laura Owens thing, I found Megan Fox. I found Dave Neal. I don't watch much Dave Neal anymore. It's just because I was interested in Laura Owens in the case. And I'm going to do one of those too, where we go back and we look at David Gingras and things like that. Cindy, you get protests here in Lincoln, capital city. Are you in Nebraska, Cindy Brown? Are you in Lincoln, Nebraska? Because we do get we did during the George Floyd deal. We had some big protests then, but no, for like the different things that are going on now or for the last year or so, we don't get that stuff here anymore. We just get a handful of idiots. But there was one big story here during the George Floyd where a guy downtown was protecting his bar and it was being attacked, and he ended up shooting another individual, and he ended up fleeing off to, I don't know, I think Oregon, because they were after him. The police were after him, and he was going to go to trial. He ended up, self-deleting himself. And it was a sad situation because he was put in a bad situation. He was protecting his own bar, which was being vandalized by a very large group. And he didn't get a chance to defend himself in court because I think he knew at the time how this was going to go for him. It didn't go well, so obviously he basically ran away, and then, he took his own situation. But yeah, it wasn't pretty. But we did have this was kind of a funny read that happened a while ago. I'll share this. Hang on, I'll make it a little bigger here for you. Uh, and I'm not trying to be crude, all right? Because I know I did the cucumber story a while back, and maybe it didn't go well. I don't know. 10 lurkers, if you forgot, hit the like button. Thank you, Lisa. But no, there was a Nebraska funeral worker fired after using sex doll of a dead man that he was tasked to collect. Okay, this is a funny story that came out of Nebraska, and I totally forgot about it. I was hanging out with a buddy, and he was like, "Dude, why don't you cover that that funeral worker?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "No, you got to pull that up." And I pulled it up. I was like, "Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that." But here you can see a Nebraska funeral worker was busted last week after he had relations with a life-size doll that belonged to a dead man whose body he was tasked with transporting, police say. Ryan Smith, 41, was arrested Friday on charges of burglary, criminal trespassing, and tampering with evidence, and was promptly fired from his Omaha mortuary gig. Smith became smitten with the doll after spotting it inside the Rock Creek apartment units, where he and a colleague were sent to collect the body of the man who died a natural death, according to court documents. The pair were working on behalf of Mid-America First Call, a company that removes, transports, embalms, and cremates bodies. Later that day, Smith allegedly called the property manager and claimed the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office was sending him back to the unit to collect the doll so it could be swabbed for a biopsy, a bizarre request that was immediately shot down. The creep decided this is funny about news because they just go ahead and put in the creep. Hey, Cindy, yes, Nebraska, you should have. Hang on, let's pull up Cindy. Say it, read it on your screen. Yes, Nebraska, you should have me on someday. On my way to babysit the grands. Oh, Cindy, I'll have you on someday. Anytime you want. You let me know. It's nice to have some other people in Nebraska here watching the show. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're here all the way from Lincoln. A quick 28-minute drive away from Omaha, Nebraska, depending on how you drive. But for me, it's about 28 minutes, maybe 30. But the creep decided to help himself and somehow weaseled his way back into the dead man's apartment, officials allege. The manager stumbled upon the disturbing scene while investigating noises coming from inside the unit, which was deadbolted and locked with a chain. Smith then allegedly walked out with his clothes disheveled, a warning, and warned the manager he would return with a warrant for the doll. The threat proved ruinous for Smith. The manager called the police and reported the fiasco, saying he was worried the funeral worker would return to break in and steal property from the apartment. Investigators arrived and noticed that several items inside the unit had been removed since the death investigation earlier in the day. The crime lab is in the midst of processing fingerprints lifted from the moved items and is planning to request DNA samples. As it turned out, Justin Dalton, owner for Mid-America First Call, confirmed to WOW that Smith was booted from the job, even though the crime did not occur on the clock. It was after hours. He was putting in extra time. Good morning. Rosalind Duke is here. Thank you. Rosalind Duke, Bearded Man. Steve is here. But this is just some of the craziness that can happen anywhere. I was reading further into this, and after DNA came up on this case, they swabbed the doll, and it turns out on the inner thighs of the doll they found DNA, and it belonged to Ryan Smith, and therefore he was convicted. I didn't ever see what his sentence was, though. I'm assuming he pled it down, because as much research as I did into this, which was minimal at best, but in all the research I did to this, I couldn't find the answer. Now, here's what I'll tell you though: these dolls can range up to around $5,000, and he was smitten with this one. He really, really liked it, and his plan was to show up with an actual another body bag, and then put the doll in the body bag to remove it, as if he was going to still remove the live body, even though it was just evidence. But he only works for the mortuary company. He's not a police officer. He's not collecting evidence. It was the goofiest, dumbest thing that I've ever seen anybody do in my life. But that's Omaha, Nebraska. That's what we do. 40 people here, 40 likes, I assume. Thank you very much for being here. A few other things I was going to share today. I shared that one. Here we go. Our great and wonderful. I was going to share this, and I know I said I wasn't just going to do all, Volmit stuff or Dick Lickman stuff. That wasn't what I was planning. Vinyl's expensive, must be inflation. You see, and that's the thing. This was not one of those like just inflatable dolls. This was a very expensive one, all the way from, I don't know, Japan, China, wherever they make these things. And yeah, maybe he was looking. At first I thought maybe he was looking to resell it, until all of a sudden I saw that, well, he was caught in the act of using it, and yeah, it's not something I would want on my resume going forward. I can tell you that. If this was this is never a situation I would want to find myself in. Try explaining that one to your wife or your parents or whoever you have to explain it to, or the next time you go get a job. Like, well, this happened. It's never a good look. All right. Well, let me take that down. Sorry. But no, one of the things that I wanted to share, though, was Rosalind Duke, one of our journalists, a newer journalist, put out another Substack article that I really enjoyed. And I didn't think on Tuesday night we would ever get to it. It was one of those weirdo. Here's the thing. I never was able to see a picture of the doll. So I'm going to do some more research into this, because, I want to get to the bottom and see if we get a picture of the doll. There was another news story that was out there that covered this, and they had a picture, but I don't think it was the actual picture of the doll. I mean, I think it was fake, if you ask me. But they posted up all these different pictures of the doll. And so I think they might have been having some fun with it as well. But I also like the New York Post putting in things like, he was smitten with the doll, and then they just call him a creep. That was kind of funny. When a news channel is just calling you a creep and saying you were using words like smitten, I mean, that's when you know you effed up, right? That's when you know things didn't go well for you on that case. But no, I do have this Substack article that Rosalind Duke shared, and she's one of the best journalists of our time. She has been journaling for years, 3 days, 4 days, but basically years. And she's much better at journaling than, is that what they call it? Is it journaling? She's much better at the other boys than the other boys are. See, even with a smaller crowd, the chat still does it over here. They still can bring the laughs. I appreciate it. Once again, thank you for the likes. And once again, this is just a little Monday morning fun stream, and tomorrow I am going to do a members only stream. just to make sure I do something for the members. I'm going to try and do some more morning streams like this, every week, whether it's one members only and maybe another one just on my own. But because I have to get used to being by myself. I can't expect Star to be with me every single time I jump on a live stream, or Rosalind or Rogue. I have to do more by myself, and you have to get used to me being by myself and not have all of the other characters at play or guests that I have, because I'm very fortunate to have just such wonderful people in my life, but they can't always be here. But here's the Substack article that Rosalind wrote. That's pretty good. It's a wonderful piece of journalism, and you can tell she did her work on this one. Let's see here. All right. It says sock puppet journalism. Oh, Mickey, what have you done? This was written on April 6th, just yesterday, 2025. 5 likes. Sorry, Roz. I didn't like that one at the time. Sorry. I will note, though, Volmit did fix his last Substack article, and he fixed the astroturfing to astroturfing. But I have bad news. Bad news for you, Mickey. The mugs have already been made by Rosalind Duke. They're in her merch store with her AstroTurf coffee mugs. And I bought one. I bought one last night. So go to Rosalind's merch store and buy the AstroTurf mug if you feel so inclined. I bought one. They're amazing. And once you do something stupid, you can't take back stupid when you've been called out on it. He was definitely called out on it by Rosalind. She writes, when it comes to groundbreaking journalism, Mickey can't write his way out of a paper bag. If you watched Just J Hip's latest live stream, you saw some of the techniques that the Ickies use to promote themselves and try to appear as them are real journalists. Personally, I thought it reeked of an AstroTurf campaign, but I wasn't exactly sure. I decided to ask Grok. I asked Grok, what do you call it when a writer posts articles, then likes the article they wrote, then reposts the article, then uses numerous alt accounts to like and repost the same article? Let me summarize Grok's response. On platforms like X, it might be called engagement farming or artificial engagement when someone uses multiple alternate accounts or sock puppet accounts to amplify their own content. Here's a delightful picture. See, it's Volmit, and see, he's got like a sock puppet. Rosalind, I just liked it live here on the stream. So Rosalind, I forgot to hit the like button when I was reading it last night. So I apologize, but I also thought it was better to do it live on air so everyone could see me hitting the like button. That way you would know, just like I had Star's back in the two Lees, I have your back as well with the like button. So there you go. I'll just put that out there. 51 people here, 51 likes, I would assume, on a Monday morning at 8:11. Thank you very much. I feel like I'm a newsman now. I'm repeating the time that it is. It's 8:11 here. The temperature is currently 47 degrees. No. Liking, reposting, and commenting. This is an attempt to artificially inflate visibility or popularity. It might violate terms of service like X's policy on spam or platform manipulation. People sometimes mock this as clout chasing when it's blatant or desperate. So now you can see they're clout chasing themselves with zero clout. Okay. When a journalist does this across multiple platforms, it's still the same game. Self-promotion dialed up to a cross-platform hustle. It's engagement farming with an extra step. or with extra steps in an attempt to create a ripple effect, hoping the amplified noise on one site, say X, spills over to other sites like Reddit, Facebook, or whatever, building a facade of widespread interest or credibility. The mechanics don't change much. It's still about faking popularity to trick algorithms. Doing it across platforms can make it trickier to spot unless you're tracking the accounts or patterns. Like it took me all of 5 minutes to do. Some might call it multi-platform sock puppeting or just grifting if it's shameless enough. Platforms often have similar rules against this. X bans coordinated inauthentic behavior in places like Reddit, hate vote manipulation, so it could get them flagged or banned if caught. Does it feel more calculated when it's spread out like that, or just more pathetic? Well, there you go. Pathetic is winning 40%. Oh, I should have picked both. Well, it's too late now, Roz. I can't pick both now. But well, I'm still going to stick with pathetic because we know that that's for sure. Now, this has only 6 days remaining. So in this situation, folks, I would encourage you to go over and vote on this one because you're not going to have 114 years to cast your ballot on this very important topic here. Just don't waste your time. Don't sit on your hands on this one. This is a big one. Get over there. You got 6 days left to vote. And if you don't get your vote in, and you need to rock the vote, I believe is what they say, to make it known. Yeah, we'll move on. I guess the Yankees have some explaining to do. Feel free to do your own research. Tea time. Please enjoy a few of my favorite discoveries. Do you think this is an alt account or a real account of a real person tied up in the basement? Now, I think it could be a real person tied up in the basement, but Rosalind did her research here, and I found this hilarious. It was a very good amount of research she did. Zach clocking in late to work. I have a good excuse. It was cold. That's okay, Zach. You come in whenever you're ready and available. But you are late and you will be docked in the paycheck. Just FYI on that one. You are late and you will be docked for that time. As you can see here, Pop has followed 2 years this account. Followed only one account. You see, following one, only Volmit. All right. Then, after being exposed on Saturday by Rosalind Duke on our stream, all right. After being exposed, look what happened on the 6th. After being exposed, he changed his avatar and now follows 4 accounts. But unfortunately, somebody's missing. He follows Varney and Company, Robert F. Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk. 4 people. Uh-oh. Volpe just lost a follower. Looks like someone's trying to cover his tracks. However, he forgot to remove this, right? Let's not forget. All right. This is insane to me, though, folks. This is what's crazy. This guy watched our show and then went out to this, I'm assuming his Pop account or Dick Lickman's Pop account, and thought it necessary to change to change who he's following, unfollow himself, and change his background. That's insane to me to go through this level of manipulation for one account, just Pop after being completely exposed. But Rosalind did it because she's good at investigating in journalism. The 2 things he's supposed to be doing, but fails every time. Okay, well, we'll continue on and see what she says. Looks like Mikey lost a follower. How sad. Well, that's it for today's tea. I'm sure they'll drop something else to laugh about later. They can't control themselves. All right, so there you go. A nice little article by Rosalind Duke. If you haven't subscribed to Rosalind Duke's Substack, please go do. She's one of the most groundbreaking journalists of our time. And, you know, you're not going to be able to get this material forever. It's not always going to be there. But Rosalind has been Substacking for a long time, though. I mean, like 3 days. So she's really good at it. She's good at writing and good at doing research. Much better than Volmit and Lichtman are, I can tell you that. So thank you, Rosalind, for that nice little read there. It was wonderful. Okay. Oh, hang on. What did Lisa say? Volmit, he's still trying to be a journalist. Interest in his own colon doesn't help with this uphill struggle with grammar, spelling, and yawn inducing articles. What's funny, I'll have to tell you this. I'm not going to share it because I promised not to. But I got actually some DMs from fake Megan Fox the other night. And she was very grateful to have come on the show, but also exposing the truth of of the stalking behavior of Volmit. So it was kind of nice. Me and her had a nice little back and forth, but she did say, she was like, well, will you not share this on your stream directly? She's like, you could talk about it, but just don't share it. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And, you know, maybe in the future, there's something we'll be able to share there, or maybe even get her back on the stream. But it was nice having a little back and forth in my DMs on X with fake Megan Fox to get her side of the story. And my side of the story is never going to change. When Volmit said, the truth is Jay doesn't really, you know, not like me or dislike me. That's not true. I don't like him. All right. I don't have to know him to not like him. So that is not true. It's completely false. And I expect we're going to see more of that on Tuesday night from Volmit. I went into the Two Lee's chat on Saturday after my stream. They went on live. I'm going to say it wasn't as hospitable of a crowd as it was maybe, you know, the week prior. Me and Rogue Mama, we have late night X-capades where we'll get on X and we'll take turns. This is funny. I should probably share this, probably more in the members only, but I'll share it today. I feel like we're kind of like a spy, because sometimes Rogue will go in as like a different person, and I'll be watching the live stream while she's in the mix, and I'll be sending her messages like, hey, you know, and we'll be doing a back and forth messaging each other while she's in there live. And I can kind of grab comments that maybe she missed, and she can respond. And then she does the same when I pop into their live. She'll be like sending me screenshots. Jay, you missed this. And it was so funny. When I was in their live stream this last Saturday, and I'll post screenshots of it, Bruce Madskin's over there, and he's accusing me, of course, of astroturfing and whatnot. He's doing that, and then I'm on my phone, so I don't respond as quickly when I'm on my computer, right? So it takes me a little time to respond, and he's like, oh, crickets, Jay, crickets. And then finally I said, Bruce, you know, you're a subscriber and member to my channel. I said, it seems awkward that you would be accusing me of such things when you're a member of my channel. Is that not true? And then, of course, his chat was just like, that's fake Bruce Madskin. That's not the real one. It's fake Bruce Madskin. And I'm like, Bruce, do you want to clear this up? And then I'm like, well, crickets, because I never got an answer from Bruce. But I don't think they understand that that's how much fun I have. I have such a fun time just over there having a good time. Yeah, BBB challenged me to come into the Two Lee's. And maybe I'll be in their chat on Tuesday, tomorrow. I don't think so, since I'm doing a live in the morning. I don't know what time they're going on. If it's late at night, I'll probably pop in. But if they're doing something at like 6 p.m. or something, I'll probably be asleep. I probably won't wake up for it. I'll watch it, you know, because I'm a subscriber to them, just so you know. All right. I'm not completely like, I'm not a complete jerk. I'll subscribe. I'll go over and jump in their chat for fun, but I need them to understand. But even Lisa said in the last stream, she's like, sure, Jay acts really nice over here, but then when he goes on his stream, he's still a jerk. It's like, but I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I don't think they're having a good time. But no, it was fun. I wanted to show. What did I have? Oh, I gotta take this one down. Like I said, this show's gonna be a little off the cuff. Where I'm gonna show some different stuff that I really enjoy and that I just think are funny. And I know that I probably don't have the audience that really is going to respect this, but I love like funny sports and things like that, like things that I didn't know existed. I have this one here. This is so funny. I would have never thought that this was a thing, but I'm only going to share portions of it. But it is funny. Yeah, let me see. Okay, this is the wide world of chess boxing. All right, this is amazing. All right, what they do, because I've gone through the rule book on this to get the rules of chess boxing. Now, there are 7 rounds in chess boxing, right? And they consist of 4 rounds of chess and then 3 rounds of boxing. And it sounds goofy to me because if I was like a promoter of this, or if I wanted to stand by a champion, what I would do is I would get someone who's really, really good at boxing and then get them to survive 1 round of chess. Because if they survive the first round of chess, they're probably then they win, right? If they're really good at boxing. Rosalind, what are you saying? What's the most miserable chat on YouTube? The chess boxing or me? My chat. I thought I had a delightful chat. This seems mean, Roz. I'm not ready to have to boot Roz if she's being mean to me, but but I just wanted to share a bit of it because I've watched maybe 100 matches. This is a worldwide event, right? This is not like, this thing's been around for like 30 years. This isn't like a new sport. And I never thought that I would see something so stupid as chess boxing, but it's a real deal. They got belts and title holders, and I don't know, there's 78 different nations involved in this deal, but it is kind of funny to watch. Let me just show it for you a little bit.
Francesco Tordoni a presentarvi questa quinta edizione dei mondiali di scacchi pugilato qui a Riccione. Ecco il nostro mono molto veloci.
As you can see, they're playing chess back and forth, wearing their boxing equipment. Now, they only have 5 minutes. After this, we move on to the boxing portion. I don't know how they move the equipment out of this room or out of the ring, because they're in the middle of the ring playing chess, right? And the entire crowd can watch them playing some solid chess. Oh, I appreciate Roz the fleas. Yes, it's not a good chess. Thank you. I thought you were talking about mine. But as you can see, the chess is going on. They have a little bit of, I should mention this too. Each chess player has a time limit to make their moves, right? So if they run out of time by the 7th round, I mean, they have to make their moves really fast. They can't just sit there for 5 minutes waiting to make one move. They have to control their own time frame if they intend to win at chess boxing. This is a very, very huge sport that's been gripping the world. Okay, I'll return. And then, as you can see, we finish up with the chess portion. And now we are moving on to the boxing portion of this worldwide sport that's been gripping the world. Let me see what the sound says. I think it's all foreign, but we'll throw it up for a few minutes and see what they're doing.
Beh, guantoni, credo siano 16 once. Eccoci per il primo incontro del mondiale. Il colore rappresenta i colori dell'Italia. Si inizia.
Oh, yes, it's a very large crowd there that they got watching. As you can, the boxing's pretty intense. They're going at it. Now, if you knock your opponent out, you win. In the boxing portion. If you also get a checkmate in the chess portion, you win. So you either need to survive at chess or survive at boxing. It's one of the two that you get to choose. Zach has done a bit of chest boxing. I imagine so. I imagine so. I would just return Rosalind's wigs and bikini bottoms. If I were you, Zach, that's probably where I would start. I prefer women's bikini football. A funny story with that is we continue to watch a little bit of boxing. I'm not showing the whole darn thing, okay, kids? But funny thing, in Ralston, Nebraska, which is just a suburb of Omaha, we had a women's lingerie football team in Ralston for, I would say, maybe 5-10 years. I actually worked with a lady, and she told me, she's like, oh, my daughter's on the team. She's the fullback or something. I don't remember what she was. I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I don't really support it, but she's gonna do what she wants to do. She wants to play some sports. So I was like, oh, well, okay. But no, we did have one, but they have since disbanded. They are no longer there. So I wanted to say this though, Yamaha. If you've ever watched the Lingerie Football League, and I know that this is not for my normal audience, all right, but I'm just gonna say, if you ever see an injury in that league, it's actually kind of sad and disgusting to watch. It's not a fun time, right? Watching someone tear their ACL in a lingerie football match. It's not a good thing. And that turned me off right away, where I was like, I can't do this anymore. But as you see, the chess boxing, it's going well. They're doing the boxing. A lot of stuff going on there. They survived the first round, I believe. And then we are eventually going to get back to, re-enter the ring, and we're going to go back to the chess. This is a real sport worldwide. We're back to chess. It's one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen in my life. And I just encourage all of you to go ahead and give it a watch sometime. I'm not going to share everything. I just wanted to bring it to your attention that this sport exists and that it's out there. And it's a fun watch, actually. I've seen some where the boxing's so horrible, but the chess is really good. And then I've seen the opposite side of that. So it's a fun watch sometimes. It's just something to do. But at your own leisure, go enjoy a little chess boxing. I would encourage you to look it up and just enjoy it. but it's definitely fun. Let me look at the chat. Let's see. This would be the only chance I had to beat my son at chess. He's been whooping me since age 12 when he lost interest. He is 1580 rating. I don't know if that's good, but it sounds good. But yeah, Zach, you should probably bring this up with your son to maybe do some chess boxing. That way you have a chance to win as well. You could get that championship. Oh, look at that. Debbie Baker is here. Debbie with the 20 gifted J-Hip memberships. I appreciate that so much, Debbie, for those 20 gifted memberships. So appreciative. Thank you so much, Debbie. Very nice of you. Like I said, it's just a Monday morning fun stream where I can interact and have more time to just chat about different things I wanted to do. I was going to show a video though. One of my friends, and I talked about this on Saturday. One of my friends, Beefy, has anxiety. He has covered, like I said, he covered like the Derek Brooks case explicitly, and then he started covering some court cases and things like that. And he had one court case that I thought was so excellent that I wanted to share it because it's a funny watch. But Debbie, once again, thank you so much. 20 gifted J-Hip memberships on this fun little Monday morning stream where we're just going to show a few things and have a little bit of fun, watch a couple videos, and maybe have some discussion. Jay, let's start a new sport, tiddlywink strangling. And see, that sounds fun, Zach. I always said, if you've ever watched slap boxing, I've always said I'd like to give that a try, but I would only go first and then run away. I would never agree to go second in that one. It would be a fun one, but tiddlywink strangling, that sounds interesting. Maybe that's something we'll put together. Good morning, Debbie Baker. Thank you for being here. I don't think I missed anybody. Bent Hook, thank you for being here. Just once again, just a fun little day. But let me pull up Beefy's video. I talked to him. He's like, oh man, you can share anything you want of mine. And he'll probably be on my show at some point in time. We have talked back and forth. He's a really good guy and he's just funny. And I wanted to share his stream. Give me 1 second here. I'll get him pulled up. All right. Zach, you must be a smart one. Chess is not an easy game to learn and play, even for adults. Yes, Lisa, it's not an easy game. Chess is, and nor is boxing. So, but anyways, here's a bit of Beefy's video that I'm going to play. I'll skip over parts because parts are a little long-winded, and I'll just give you like the heads up on what occurred. I'm not going to share every single second of it because I think it's 30 minutes or something like that. 26 minutes, and we're not going to share 26 minutes, but I'm going to share a good portion of it, though. Let me make sure it's not. Oh, it is muted.
Happening, you guys all hate it, and it's like, oh, follow, subscribe, but I do just want to plug my Instagram really quick. It'll take 2 seconds. If anybody out there is on Instagram, I'd really appreciate a follow. I'm trying to get with that. Let's just jump right into the content, shall we?
And 1034,
like this. Link will be in the description to this video and his channel. Go check him out. I appreciate him letting me use the free content.
This
was
57, 53, 67.
This was a really good video. This was Beefy Has Anxiety. It was originally on Old Squishy Gardner's channel. But I liked his take on it. He does a wonderful take on this video. It's really, really good. So I just wanted to share that because I think we're going to try and get him back maybe onto YouTube a little bit more often, or at least maybe a regular guest on this channel, once a month or so, because he's really funny and really nice. So I just wanted to share that, and we'll get into this court case. It's wonderful.
79 and 1034, the state of Texas, and that's the last two cases are 2020. Now, counsel, please.
Your Honor, it's for the state on 2020-0D01034.
Ivan Martinez for the state for the rest of the cases, Your Honor.
Honor, Angelina Lugo representing Ernie Duelas on 2019-0D05753, and also 2019 0D0 2790.
Your Honor, Fernando Chacon representing him on the 2020 00335 and 2020 0C 00335, but that's a county criminal court case, Your Honor. And I'm probably representing him on all the felonies in your court except for what Ms. Lugo is there for.
Very well. Let the record reflect this is a bond hearing. Ms. Lugo or Mr. Chacon, please, you may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, this gentleman, Ernie Duelas, we were in court at our last hearing, and he has been on bond, on PR bonds and corporate surety bond as well. He is 21 years of age. He lives in, he was born and raised in El Paso, Texas. And prior to his arrest, he was living with his girlfriend. They're common law in a sense. They have 3 children together. And those children are 1.5 years, 2.5 years of age, and 3.5 years of age. He, prior to his arrest, was working at.
Now, bear in mind, this is the point here where his defense counsel is just doing their best to give him a good look, right? They're trying to pump him up a little bit so he can get a PR bond. That's what they're looking for, is a PR bond. Beefy will comment on this as well. His comments are delightful.
Church's Chicken. And he has worked, he has attended all his years of schooling. He obtained his high school diploma and then started has an interest in going into the HVAC work. Your Honor, he has been on bond, and has always reported on bond. He's always reported on the PR portion of the bond. He's always stayed in touch with corporate surety bond. He has no positive UAs. If I just a minute here, Your Honor.
I'd like to introduce you all to the hero of today's story, patiently taking notes off to the side with an ever so slight shit-eating grin on his face. This man is our legend of today. He will make this hearing oh so fun. Foreshadowing.
Yeah, no positive UAs. We're at a point on this case, Your Honor, where we would like to work out a plea agreement eventually with this case, but of course everything's taken a little bit more time. We've got cases, misdemeanor cases, and then these felonies as well. I would ask if the court would consider either putting him back on PR bonds. He has never failed to report, as I understand, and or a combination of corporate surety bond with PR bond. If the court were to grant him a bond, his grandparents are willing to take him in initially for a 14-day period of time, just to be sure that he's safe to be around the rest of the family.
Oh man, rip this dude's grandparents. That is not a good sign when your family needs like a detox period from you, like a probationary period, just to ensure he's going to behave himself and won't be a complete nightmare. Even his family is unsure this man will behave. Ugh. If I was this guy's attorney, I don't even know if I'd mention that. It like speaks more against him than it does for him. Jeez. Kind of messed up there, pawning him off on the grandparents too. I can like just hear this dude's mom like, Meme can take him. I'm not gonna do the accent. That's fucked up. He's not living in my house. No, sir. He can fuck up Meme and Pepe's house. They can afford it. Oh, they did them old people dirty. Oh gosh. F's in the chat for this homie's grandparents.
They have a 2-story home, and they have a period. They have a section of the house where he could stay by himself.
Oh, Ripperoonie! They won't even let him stay in the main house. That is brutal. Oh, goddamn! This poor guy. What did he do to these people? Shit.
And then his mother and his children, and of course his common law spouse, would like for him to move back with them. I can tell the court that I think, I'll stop there, Your Honor, and allow Mr. Chacon to proceed and elaborate further if he wishes to.
Anything else you want to say, Mr. Chacon?
Your Honor, he's always had
She's
a
had
very
enough.
good
She's bailing
connection
out.
with his grandfather and his parents, and he's a very smart young man, and he's been, I guess, transitioning, and so I think that he would be okay to be put on PR bond, Judge.
This is what we call the definition of lawyer fluff. They have said nothing.
He would be okay.
All
We
while
think he
saying
would be
something.
okay.
Like they basically just said this dude had a job at Church's Chicken, so he's a fast food employee who got locked up. That is like, he's a smart guy. He's a nice guy. His family might take him back in if he can prove himself to the grandparents. Like, sometimes it is better off to say nothing than to have said anything at all. Oh, sheesh.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Setliff or Mr. Martinez, you want to respond?
So you have to allow it.
Let's
I
get
think it's
past,
in the
let's
middle
get past
of your
the music
screen
sector.
under share screen.
Screen. I thought so.
So I've taken a little effort in arranging, so for my own understanding, what the defendant has been up to. So that first screen is all the cases that you've called, as well as the pending misdemeanors. As you can see, there are 4 instances of evading, 2 with vehicles and 2 on foot. One of the evading with a vehicle is related to one of the evading on foot. The defendant.
Oh man, look at those mug shots. I love the one in the top right where they had to rough him up a little bit. This is a Hall of Fame worthy cringe gallery. God damn. This boy has been up to some trouble.
He's got a black eye.
Has these pending offenses stemming from an evading with a vehicle in which he evaded on that motorcycle that's in the bottom left, as well as on the motorcycle in oncoming traffic. That's him going against traffic, where I'm indicating with my pointer.
I'm sorry. He drives the route with his cursor. He went down this way. He had oncoming traffic. He swerved around this baby. Oh man, this is a hammering. This guy came correct. Oh, his lawyers are flapping off about, oh, he worked at Church's Chicken. His parents might have the drugs on the scale. Oh, good God.
This is, he abandoned his motorcycle and ran through a residential area, and they had to pursue him and get him. He had he had cocaine in this instance of that amount, less than a gram. And so that was on January 17th of 2019. On April 18th of 2019, he was arrested with others that were in this car. They had additional offenses, which are reflected by those THC cartridges on the right. They had a large amount of money with them, a scale and other accoutrement of drug dealing. That's defendant circled with his co-defendants. And that's that offense that's stemming from there. On May 28th, 2019, this is 2020 0D00679 with evading with a vehicle. Again, he has a Cadillac Escalade, which is a question just as an aside. I wonder about he has 2 lawyers right now. If they're both appointed, that's a question. He has this Cadillac Escalade. He evades from the officers, abandons the Escalade, and then goes into someone else's backyard. The officer has to chase after him. And in fact, he struggles so much that several officers had to subdue him in that instance. On August 6, 2019, while out on bond again, he sells this cocaine to an undercover officer. That's a picture of the cocaine that he was planning to sell. I would point you to this username is Flamer. Just keep that in mind for just a few minutes, Judge. During 2008.
Oh no, he didn't. He cut and pasted a bunch of Budweiser boxes in the fucking PowerPoint. Oh, it probably took him like an hour to do that on Google Docs. He included like different angles and all records of his accomplices. My man went in. This is an evisceration. We've gone fucking scorched earth, ladies and gentlemen.
18, the defendant completed PTD on another resisting case, evading and possession of marijuana. So that's 5 total of evading cases that he has in his life. He did a beer run with these other people. And that's also significant because he completed PTD in 2018. So this is a timeline.
What's up in the fucking timeline? Oh my god, look at how fucking full that chart is. This guy has been busy. Oh, sub boxes upon sub. Holy shit. How old is this kid? He looked like he was in his 20s. He's like the fucking Pablo Escobar of the North Cali suburb proper. What the fuck? He's out here asking for a PR bond. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Of the defendant's activities starting all the way back in 2015 when he's a PI. He slapped his current girlfriend back then when she was just his girlfriend. He does a runaway case in December of 2000, in March of 2020. So I also know he is a confirmed Blood 1700 gang member.
The whole record.
Oh no, another one. I wonder if he hails from the same chapter as Brooks did. they were clip, street fam. Little boy looking dudes who beat their girlfriends represent. Gang. Oh, Jesus.
I'ma pull up with the
Learned anything on while out on bond?
I'm gonna skip a little bit because there's music and stuff that's involved here that I don't want to involve because it also involves like things like Daryl Brooks video and stuff like that. And the timeline, we don't need to know the whole timeline, but it's not good. Debbie Baker, don't worry. I will make sure on the next stream, I'll make sure that we have several links in the chat. Don't worry, I just don't have things pulled up. I wasn't ready for it because it's a Monday morning. I wasn't expecting, really anyone to be here or anything like that. If Rosalind could share a link to the Cash App, if she has it available, that'd be great. If not, or Star, I think Star's here at least in the chat. If you could just share a link, but if not, it's no big deal, Debbie. We'll catch up on the next big stream on Wednesday. I promise you, it's no big deal. All right, I appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you, Debbie Baker, and thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. So don't worry about that, Debbie. We'll connect. I promise you. Thank you. All right, I'll continue on, but no, this is really funny.
Without reading it to you, Judge, I can make it available to you, but he has some very choice things to say. Well, this is showing that he had a gun when he was arrested in August, and he wanted his dad to sell the gun so he could get out on PR bond. When he talks to his grandmother, this is the language that they use referring to your decision to revoke his bond.
Am I the effing B?
お前はもう死んでいる。何
I believe so, Judge.
Mr.
In March, he
I'm
didn't
the
learn
effing B. Holy. Oh, there's another one. The judge is a hoe. Oh my God. The judge is a hoe dog for.
So, Judge, no respect for your court, no respect for the officers that are taking their life and the community in danger. Everyone's life is in danger with this defendant out on bond. He's a scary guy. He does not care about driving in front of traffic as it's ongoing in residential areas on multiple occasions, selling drugs, and then referring to you in the way that he did.
Be having them PhDs, player hating degrees. In the Motown, we call it pimping, hogging, and dogging, understand me? Yeah. HK and the mess nigga in this bitch for 9-6. And we gonna lay shit down for you players.
He doesn't belong out.
Now the judge is kind of going to disappear for a while because she is so angry, and then there's some dead air as she's trying to compose herself.
Oh man,
this
look
isn't
at
going
him.
well for this dude.
If I fucked up had a face, it was at this moment he knew he fucked up. Oh God. Oh, calling her the F&B. You know the judge is like muting herself to compose herself because she's gonna scream at this kid like she was going to lay into him. To say that about a judge and then have the calls in court. Oof, this is like brutal.
Judge, you're muted.
Okay, I'm back. Okay. I don't want to discuss this case anymore. If somebody is referring to me in that manner, way, shape, or form because I revoked his PR bond because he couldn't comply, they had positive UAs, then I'm not going to waste any more time. And I've got other people that probably respect me and respect me a little bit more. Mr. Sedliff, what are the bonds set at?
Your Honor, it's difficult for me to tell on portal. It appears he may not have a bond on my new offense, the 1034.
I'm sorry, Aaron. I have the bond amounts.
What are they?
And just to let you know, Judge, he's only being held on detainer, so none of his bonds have been revoked, cash or surety portions. So I'm gonna go down the docket. That way I can.
His PR bond wasn't revoked?
No, Judge.
Okay.
He was just detained back in March.
Okay. So I'm setting new bonds then. That's what I'm going to do then.
Bear in mind, he was asking for a PR bond, right? Just to be released on personal recognizance. We're going to see how this goes after saying that the judge was a B. I don't think it's going to go well. Let's see what Beefy thinks about it. This is going good.
Okay, Judge.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give me the highest bond amount.
On the 5753 case, that one is a $10,000 cash surety.
That's the highest?
Yes, Judge. As far as cash surety, and then there's a 25,000 PR.
Okay. I'm on 1034. That one doesn't have a bond at all, right?
I see 25,000 PR.
Okay, thank you. Judge, that's a first degree. I don't know. That one might make sense to be at a different number if that's what you see fit to do.
Yeah. I'm going to put a 50,000.
Oh, that's so good. She's just like, fuck what it says. I'm gonna go higher. Oh, I love it so much. She's like, fuck this guy. He was asking for personal recognizance. And she's like, give him 50 grand.
On the first degree, $50,000 on the 1034, $50,000 surety. On the 2020-679, I'm going to put a 15,000 surety. On the 2019-5753, it's going to remain. It's a 10,000 surety, right, Mr. Castañeda?
Yes, Judge. That was previously posted. And has not been, there's no warrant for it or anything.
Okay, that's okay. I'll leave that one. Then we have another manufacturing delivery, which is a first degree correct in the 5511.
No, I believe that's a state
5511,
jail,
right?
Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I believe that one's a state jail. That one's under a gram.
Oh, okay. I didn't, my printer, I didn't see that. Okay. That is going to be a 15,000 shirt. And then in the evading arrest, it's going to be another 15,000 as in the other one.
And Judge, on that one, there was a 7,500 cash surety posted. Do you want this to be an additional
7,500, an additional 7,500. I want it to be raised to 15,000. Get it? So all he has to post is another 7,500. Okay.
This is so great because he paid 7,500 and she said, screw this dude. I'm going to make it another 7,500. Enjoy, sir. This did not go well. This is the best thing I've seen.
So it's a 15,000. 15. Okay, there it is. Okay, Mr. Setliff, everything. Anything else we need to do in this case?
Once again, thank you, Debbie Baker. 5 gifted J-Hip memberships. And don't forget, tomorrow, I am going to have a members-only live stream tomorrow morning. Once again, I don't want to set a time. I always set it at 7:15, okay? But I don't know if Shizzy's going to be on. I don't really want to run into everything. Although the members can go and watch whenever you want, but I'll do it tomorrow. It could be 7:45. I don't know, but just tonight, I just don't want to run into like his stream. Normally he finishes around 7:15, so that's why I plug it in at that time. Okay, we'll continue. I'm sorry. Thank you, Debbie Baker, once again for the 5 gifted memberships.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Mr. Chacon, Ms. Lugo, anything else?
Your Honor, I only want to say to the court, of course, I have total respect for Your Honor, for all the courts, and I will go over all of this with Mr. Duenas.
Good, thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chacon, anything else, sir?
I'm going to do the same, Your Honor.
Man, you know if things did not go your way when at the end of the case, you are like backpedaling yourself from your client. Like he is radioactive at this point. They could not get away from him fast enough. Ugh. Bad. Cute doggy in the background by this guy, though. I want to give him pats.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Well, but it's not you. It's the.
No, it's okay, Judge. I'm still part of that. So my apologies for any way.
I don't think in any way, shape, or form, Ms. Lugo, Mr. Chacon, I do not impute the disrespect, the outrageous disrespect that your client has shown the court, the system, me. I do not impute that to either of you. Both of you are fine attorneys. So no worries. Go be safe, everybody. Go be safe, everybody. Don't be excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aaron. That was great. You taught me how to share screen with somebody else now. Okay, we're late.
Now we both know.
I know. We're late for our next one. I'm going to get back on, okay?
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this one. Be sure to check out the Instagram page. We're going to be live streaming tomorrow. Today is Thursday. Today is Thursday the 18th of May, and we're going to be live streaming.
All right. Well, I just wanted to share that it was one of my favorite streams that Beefy did because he did so many good ones during the Darrell Brooks case. Actually, his Darrell Brooks coverage was so funny because they actually did like some reenactments of the trial, and they were delightful and so funny. And if I can find clips of them, I will. But these are some of the best streams I've seen, and I'll share more from Beefy in the mornings. Like I said, I talked to him, And he was like, dude, share whatever you want. And he's like, maybe we'll work on some stuff in the future. And I said, yeah, man. And he can come on whenever he wants, as long as our timing works out, because he's very, very funny. Morning, Auntie Pterodactyl. Thank you for being here. And Nancy, of course, thank you. Yeah, Shizzy's every morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time. So I get off work at 6:30, so I usually can grab 15 minutes before my drive home. But and then sometimes when I get home, I can jump in the chat for just a little bit, or I'm always late. But thank you everyone for joining me. I didn't want to do this. Is, like I said, this is a Monday morning. This is a long stream. I mean, I didn't even know I was going to go an hour and 20 minutes. But thank you everyone for coming in. There are 46 people here. I hope we end up getting 46 likes. But I just like to have some fun time doing something else as a palate cleanser from all of the Volmit, because like I said, I was telling people the other day, I have other stuff saved up that I really like to share, but I'm stuck with Volmit all the time. So I just wanted to share some streams of Beefy, because I think we're going to do some stuff together in the future, and I'll share a little bit more of his, and also what's the whole Brooks trial? Thank you. I watched his past videos. I watched the whole Brooks trial. Yeah, and his past Daryl Brooks coverage was just funny. I mean, there were times when it got very serious, obviously, with the trial and everything, but his actual coverage of that was so funny. And no, I wanted to share a little bit, some of my favorite clips, and I'll find those, and I'll continue working with him to maybe get something worked out together. I'll send him a link of today's stream. Thank you, Rosalind, for sharing a link, because I forgot I was going to share this today. And I didn't put it in my description, so I'll have to go back and add that. But thank you, everyone, for coming out. I just wanted to have a fun little Monday. Tomorrow we'll do a members only, which is going to cover a little bit more of Volmit, a little bit maybe behind the scenes type of stuff with Volmit. And we're going to have other stuff too. But I just want to do a members only, because I didn't want people to think I set it up, 5 days ago, 8 days ago? I don't remember. It was a week ago. I don't remember. But I didn't set it up that long ago. I wasn't planning on anybody finding it. And then all of a sudden I set it up on a Friday night, and then all of a sudden the next Saturday they found it. And I'm like, oh no, I wasn't prepared for this. I just set it up. But thank you, every single person who came. 69 likes. Thank you, Stacy, so much. Have a wonderful day. Be safe out there. If it's snowing, if it's cold, just enjoy your day. Watch the stream. I just like to have fun, but I don't always just want to do Volmit. I love doing a morning stream where I just hang out and chat a little bit more and do things like that. Thank you very much for coming out, and have a great day. It was a good time, and I just like to do this stuff. I want to do it more often, so I'll see you in the mornings a little bit more often. Watch, rewatch, and share. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all.
Hey, it's him to BJ.